Welcome back, everybody. Aaron Rift here with Jeff Meacham for the final installment of our Top 5 Royal Rumble video series here. Now we have the Top 5 Royal Rumble singles/tag team matches. In other words, the non-Royal Rumble matches at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So go ahead, Jeff, with your top 5.
All right. I have different reasons for my listing, and I'll go through it as I talk.
All right.
1991, number 5, the Rhodes family against DiBiase and Virgil. Not a great technical masterpiece, because let's be real, it was Dusty Rhodes and Dustin at the time, who was still a fetus in the business. But the story that was told, not only of the Rhodes battling the evil $1 Million Man, but then the liberation of Virgil. And Virgil just smacking DiBiase in the face with the $1 Million belt and starting his ascension toward freedom and toward winning the $1 Championship at SummerSlam that year. Just great storytelling, I thought.
I agree.
And number 4, Edge and Regal from 2002, where Regal became the Intercontinental Champion with some shenanigans. That was a great match between two great wrestlers, and you had the ridiculous Nick Patrick still being the evil referee. It was horrible. But it was a great match, and I thought it was great. Again, great storytelling between two great in-ring competitors. Number 3, Triple H and Kurt Angle from 2001 in the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. You talk about technical masterpiece. Even at the end there, when Austin interfered and cost Triple H the championship, you had the two, arguably the two top heels in the company at the time, battling each other for the championship, which was unheard of back then. You never had the top heels and the top babyfaces against each other. You had them against the other side. And to have those two, go at it at the Rumble, and really, it was really more about building Triple H and Stone Cold for No Way Out, and I understand that.
Right.
But they had Angle in there as he was the champion, and he was made to look like a great champion, and Triple H was made to look like a legitimate threat to anybody. 1991, number 2, Rockers and Orient Express. You talk about a tag team par excellence match. That match set standards that, none of the 4 of them, except Shawn Michaels, ever lived up to. The Orient Express was on point that night. Jannetty was in his prime, and Shawn was Shawn Michaels, of course. So that was a great match. But the greatest singles match in Rumble history also involved Kurt Angle. And it was versus Chris Benoit, 2003. That was, I dare say that was Chris Benoit's greatest match that didn't involve Eddie Guerrero or Dean Malenko.
That was a tremendous match.
I will sit there, and when Dylan asks me to watch a Kurt Angle match, I'll put in that match. Like, just sit down, Bubba. Just watch. And he'll sit there. He was... Wow, at 6 years old, he goes, wow, that was really good, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Exactly.
And
learn, boy.
Benoit got the standing ovation.
He did. And you know what? As it should be. But Angle even got an ovation, too. As sneaky heel as he was, and Team Angle carried him out, whatever, you know what? Those two made us forget that Angle was a sneaky bastard, and that they were both great technical wrestlers.
Yeah. I'm interested in your list, because I think you brought up a lot of interesting matches, but... To me, a lot of those matches, I think, are maybe underrated. I don't remember a lot of them.
Okay.
But I do think you brought up some interesting matches for people to check out if they don't remember those matches, if they're not familiar with them.
For only $9.99.
My matches are more of the high-profile Royal Rumble matches, I think, that people tend to remember more. My number 5 is John Cena versus Umaga, 2007 Royal Rumble. Just a crazy match. John Cena bleeding all over the place.
Was that the one where he took the ropes off and tied Umaga up?
Yeah, I thought that was such a cool finish.
That was barbaric.
Yeah, I thought that was one of John Cena's best matches, in my opinion. Number 4 is from the 2000 Royal Rumble, which is one of my personal favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-views from start to finish.
Agreed.
The Hardys versus the Dudley Boys.
The first ever tables match.
Yeah, tables match. And, the Dudleys were red hot. The Hardys were red hot. They did all the cool spots in the crowd. I just thought that was an awesome match. Great way to kick off that show.
Yes.
My number 3 is from 2001, Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho, the ladder match.
Yes.
That memorable moment when Jericho put the walls on
Jericho on the ladder. Okay, all right.
That was a really good ladder match from those two. My number 2 was your number 1, Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit from the 2003 Rumble. And then my number 1 is from 2000, the street fight between Triple H and Cactus Jack. In my opinion, the all-time greatest one-on-one Royal Rumble match. One of the best street fights of all time. I mean, that was towards the end of Cactus Jack's run. Just an incredible match.
Definitely one of Foley's finest WWF moments.
One of the most violent WWE matches that you ever
definitely.
see.
Okay, well...
So I think that because you said Benoit and Angle as your number 1, and I said as my number 2, that's clearly the number 1, I think, when you combine our list. So right. Angle, Benoit, number 1.
Other than that, this it's hard because we both have equally good reasons for why we had it on our list. You know what? I completely forgotten about Hunter and Cactus.
Yeah.
So put that as number 2. That's fine.
Yeah. That's tough. I really like the Rhodes family
story. Yeah,
that was an awesome storyline with Virgil.
All right, let's put that at the bottom though, number 5.
Yeah, that'll be number 5.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah, this is tough.
I know. This is probably
the thing is, I don't even remember Edge and Regal at all.
Right.
And I don't really remember the Rockers versus the Orient Express. And since we're already putting Rhodes and DiBiase there, I'm not. I don't know if we should put that match on there
because
too.
they're both from the same year. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's leave on Angle and Benoit and Rhodes, DiBiase, and Virgil, and Cactus and Triple H, and then 2 more from your list, and we'll go ahead and call
Benoit, Jericho, and Hardy's Dudleys.
Perfect.
Okay, so there you have it. There's our top 5 for that. All right, finally, the top 5 Royal Rumble matches themselves.
Yeah.
The overall Royal Rumble matches.
Now, this was kind of hard for me because I'm going to admit my error here because Aaron sent me this list a week ago of what we're going to do. I sat right here in the spot on my phone going off memory. I haven't watched all these back yet. I'm in the process of counting down to the Rumble this year by watching the Rumble matches of the past. I haven't rewatched them all, so I'm trying to just think off the top of my head here. Luckily, I've watched most of these a shit ton of times. So here's what I got. 2002, Triple H winning. 4 comebacks. You had Val Venus, Mr. Perfect, The Godfather, and Goldust coming back. You had Austin making another huge run in the Rumble. You had Triple H making his huge comeback, of course. You had Mr. Perfect in the Final 4 making the comeback. That was a story. That was a story. You had Kurt Angle getting robbed of his chance to win it the first time he was ever in it. He was so livid to the point where he got Stephanie involved and won the shot at No Way Out the next month.
Right.
And then Triple H turned it back. I forgot how they pulled that off, but it's been 15 years, whatever, leave me alone. And then just the Rumble itself was a great match. You had the Undertaker Maven spot. You had just a number of different things that really worked in that match. The previous year, number 4, 2001, excuse me, another great comeback story with Stone Cold, but the match itself was star-studded. You had Haku coming out of nowhere. How do you forget Haku in the surprises?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Haku.
Because nobody liked him? Or is it WCW? I don't know.
It was WCW, yeah. Haku literally walked off of WCW TV as being as hardcore champion one week and was literally in the Rumble the next week.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty significant.
It was.
By that point, nobody really cared about the war between WWF and WCW. It was all but over.
Because the war ended Halloween Havoc 98.
Yeah.
That war was over after that because the WCW never won a victory after that.
Yeah, so.
And the ratings were. But 2001, you had Haku coming back, you had Austin winning, you had
Drew Carey as
the entrant, you had Big Show returning, you had
Kane going on a rampage.
Kane setting the record that stood until last year, exactly, which I hate. Shouldn't Roman Reigns, but whatever.
Hey, that does not make Roman Reigns very strong, your comments.
I don't care. I like Roman, but I'm over it already.
Vince McMahon sent out the memo to NoDQ.com. We have to make Roman Reigns look strong, damn it.
Since when did we listen to Vince? I've been working for you for 15 years. When did we listen to Vince McMahon?
We didn't sell out, we bought in.
We bought in. Oh my god, now we're the authority. Okay. Oh my god, we're going to hell. Okay. 2001 was just a great Rumble. Great.
Yeah.
Star-studded. Much like my number 1, but we'll get to that in a minute. Number 3, 2006, because of the story of Rey Mysterio and going from both him and Hunter going from start to finish.
Right.
And then Randy Orton being the last elimination, that I liked that part of it. I didn't like the aftermath as far as Orton, saying that Eddie's not in heaven, he's in hell, and it was so despicable and so tactless and tasteless.
Yeah.
It was horrible. But the Rumble victory itself was a great story. The match itself had a lot of star power, just a lot of good entrants. No real huge surprises necessarily, but just a great match itself.
Right.
Same with 2004, my number 2, Chris Benoit's win. A great story being told of one guy's road at capturing the big prize and trying to overcome every obstacle.
Yeah, the guy you never thought would headline WrestleMania was able to do it.
Yeah, nobody, especially Kevin Nash, thought Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, whatever, headline WrestleMania, and at the end of that show in the Garden, who was standing tall?
Yeah.
And that was the start of it, was the Royal Rumble. Number 2, Ric Flair himself has
Isn't
said...
this your number 1?
Number one. You're right, sorry, number 1. 1992. Ric Flair himself on the Ultimate Collection said that this was the most star-studded Rumble that you had Hogan, Flair, Kerry Von Erich, Roddy Piper, Davey Boy Smith, Sid, Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts. You just everybody in that match had some sort of star appeal. Even like the Bushwhackers were in that match, but they were huge then. It's just the all 30 guys had a name to him, and it was just from top to start to finish, star-studded match, and so star-studded that it made Flair look that much stronger and becoming champion.
He beat all those guys.
He beat the top guys in the industry, period.
And the commentary, who can forget Gorilla Monsoon?
Gorilla Monsoon, it was so funny because I watched the 93 Rumble after I watched that one. And Gorilla and Bobby were on commentary again, and it just wasn't as good.
By that time, half the roster was gone, and
I know it's true. Yeah,
WWE kind of bottomed out in popularity.
They really
the '92 they really had lightning in a bottle.
They did
with Flair and the commentary, everything, all the stars aligned.
That they really didn't capture again until Stone Cold started his ascension.
Right.
It took almost 4 years to rebuild that.
Right. Okay. So my top 5, I agree with you on '92 for all the reasons you mentioned. 2004, same thing. 2001. Though my top pick was '92. Same with you. So '92 is going to be number 1 for both of us.
Okay.
And then 2004, same thing. We both agree on that. We both put 2001 in our top 5, so that'll be number 3. Now we got to figure out number 4, number 5. Let me mention my other 2 here real quick. 2008, really enjoyable Royal Rumble, Madison Square Garden, John Cena's big return. You had a bunch of crazy moments. You had Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka going at it in Madison Square Garden. That was a really cool moment. And then the 2007 Royal Rumble, I really enjoyed that one, and I thought that had the best final 2 in Royal Rumble history when it was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker going at it for 20 minutes back and forth. I mean, it was really incredible. And just that Rumble as a whole I thought was very entertaining. So we got to come up with our last 2 here. I'm going to go off right now and say no. I'm going to pull Simon Cowell and say it's a no for 2006 because I felt the WWE exploited Eddie Guerrero's death by making Rey Mysterio the winner. I wasn't a fan of it. But I do agree with you on 2002. I want to put 2002 in because, as you mentioned, that Royal Rumble with Triple H's comeback story, all the big returns like Mr. Perfect and The Godfather, Val Venus and Goldust. That Royal Rumble, you want to talk about star power in that one. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Undertaker getting eliminated by Maven. So I want to put 2002 in there.
Okay, so we got number 4 then.
Yeah.
Whatever one you want to put 07 or 08 from.
I'll go with 2007 because of the Shawn Michaels Undertaker finish. Okay, so before we wrap it up here, there's one more thing you wanted to say about 2006.
Well, yeah. Just let me just say that for the better part of the last 9 years, I've been going the Sith way of it and giving into my anger. But I agree with you. They exploited Eddie Guerrero's death, Rey Mysterio. But I put it on there because I thought it was a nice story and it was very heartwarming. But fuck that. You're absolutely right. Fuck 2006. Cut that shit out. Yeah, it was horrible when they did that, and it's horrible they still do it to this day.
I mean, it was an entertaining Rumble. I do agree with you.
Entertaining Rumble, but the story, you're right. It was sheer exploitation.
I wouldn't put it in top 5, but it is top 10 for sure.
Yes.
All right, so that'll do it for our thoughts on the Royal Rumble, our top 5 list. Thank you once again for coming on today.
It's always,
it was a pleasure to have you on.
It's always good to come hang out at the Rift House.
And maybe we'll do this for WrestleMania, do a series of videos for WrestleMania. What do you think?
I did that once before with another host, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, you haven't done it on NoDQ.com.
This is true, but
you guys want it, we will deliver it.
Let us know what you guys want to do.
All right, so stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest in WWE, TNA, and all the other promotions out there.
WWE and Indie, according to the website.
Well, yeah, but that includes...
includes TNA.
That includes TNA.
That's right. Because they're indie.
Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all that. And thank you guys very much for watching.